take as final pick. It will be the original thought. He just goes for the Sejuani. More of a square draft from Griffin than perhaps the last couple of games by the Scuttle Vision.
Yep, Lehens does have all of his buttons available. They're going to jump right on top of the Tom Kenshu, just gobbles up Sungyun as quickly as possible. Key does have the grey health, pops it at exactly the right time, but is it actually going to be enough? Void Seeker blocked, but it doesn't actually matter as Viper picks up the kill with the game so far as Tarzan back down again, flashes in for the Arctic Assault and Key. The grey health pop very early, but you are dead once again, and Tarzan going to grab that kill.
Actually switch over just yet, got it over the course of that fight. Speaking of fights.
Yeah, now it's another fight as Lehens gets the knock up onto Bono, but the Hail of Blades does a lot of damage back. Hummerlife Esports still here as Key teleported his way forward with that unsealed spellbook that you talk about, and they're continuing to fight. Lehens has to flash away as Tarzan in trouble. First death for the man. That is now a definable. This last turret plate. Are they going to get there? No, they're not. Don't quite. They miss out on that 160 gold. But this general.
Double Ocean's actually pretty decent for where the game state is at. For Hanwha Life, in a different game, if, say, top was fed and they were switching for Drake, Sion or Sejuani, it's a very short-range comp on the side of Griffin. And speaking of Griffin, Chovy in danger of his first death. Yeah,
trying to take down Bono here, who I think the Hail of Blades now on cooldown. The ultimate's going to be used, flashes out of the way. The Spear Beyond Death is going to grind up the Akali, and it's all too easy. Sungyun going to follow up here as well as Tarzan has to flash away, but it's the disdain to get rid of Lehens. He has to use the quickness, flashing away as well. And Hanwha Life Esports have woken up, and Lava even avoiding Sword's ultimate and might be able to kill him right back. Ring of Frost in turret range. Right next to Lehens, but here's the 5-man siege. What is Ash pretty good at? She's pretty good at sieging. They're just going to move up to that outer turret in the mid lane. Get things working. Yes.
It's possible that Gerald was moved.
Well, I hope so. As Chovy, he's in trouble. Ring of Frost keeps him locked down for a very long time as Bono looks a bit silly.
Flashes.
Jumping forward, but it's Lehens that dies first. Sword finds himself in the front line, which is often where a Sion wants to be, but not this time. He's just dead. As Hanwha Life Esports front-to-back team fighting just seems to be working out so well for them.
And it's not to the tune of a Baron yet, but it feels like we're running out of easy objectives for Hanwha Life to tick off the list. They've got basically all of them in the early game.
Yeah, and a free third turret here as well on the bottom side, just with the wave management. Over to Hanwha Life Esports, continuing to roll in that global gold river.
Not spotted by any vision.
Lava looks for it, finds the frozen tomb. First pick, not going to land though, onto Lehens, and that's a lot of buttons now down as here he comes. In goes Sword. They've been split up as Chovy gets into the backline. Ultimate lands nicely from Tarzan, but will they actually have the damage? The reset for Hanwha Life is pretty good. But Viper launches into the backline, and now Key's taking the focus. Tal's in trouble. The knock-up is going to land as Tal's taken down, and Griffin. We always ask the question, can they get the miracle team fight as Tarzan uses his whole health bar, and that is somehow the ace. How does Griffin do this?
It's almost a clean ace. It's a 4-for-1 when they were 9,000 gold behind. They turn onto Baron, they hoover it down. That's the inside-out team fight that Griffin were desperate for.
Oh, man, and Hanwha Life, so unfortunate, misses a few key buttons, but other teams might let them reset. Griffin says, hell.
Let their men down and not allow any of their own men to suffer. Really nice execution there.
It's like the Willy Wonka of esports,
yes,
I
know.
Coaches. It's
and his
so
golden
cool.
ticket is Griffin.
Yeah.
QSS is subbed into that spot. Yes, you know what a team fight that Griffin wins looks like now. We weren't sure before.
Yeah.
Now it is now the better part of 2,000, maybe even less
Chovy, what the heck was that? Just dives over and steals the red buff, and they just engage. That's Sungyun going down. What did you say about wiping out the AD carry? Well, Griffin can do it as well. They will get rid of him, and Lava is going to follow very quickly. And now Bono versus the world. Key wants to get out of their Abyssal Voyage.
That was the big pick there. They just make something out of nothing. There's never blood on the hands for Griffin. Apparently, they just wash their hands plenty of times in a team fight. They wash their hands out of a supremely poor early game by their standards, and now they're ahead in goal.
And that was with Hanwha.
7,000.
He's going to have to use that ultimate. Does have that one available as the Void Seeker lands onto Sungyun. Misses the ultimate from Tarzan as in goes Lehens. Gets the quickness as Viper right into the backline. Key's going to be taken out, but Sungyun was the first to go down. Stopwatches are not going to be able to stop this onslaught as Lava is picked off. We're looking for the pentakill. That's it for Viper.
Pentakill for Viper. Doesn't need an awesome dude. Does it anyway. Frontlining on Kai'Sa, and Griffin win the game.
That was ridiculous. You can't go for objectives with a 6-item Kai'Sa, especially not in the hands of Griffin. And like you said, they'll walk up the bottom lane. And I doubted them. I'm not going to lie to you, Papa. 9,000 gold is hard to come back from. We haven't seen it so far in 2019. But who's the team that's going to do it? It's going to be Griffin.
Lucky number 13 inside the Kesper Cup. 13 best of ones in a row. This one, the trickiest one. So much credit to Hanwha Life, but in the clutch, Griffin is too good.
Just ridiculous. The Nexus to go down. Hanwha will wonder what the heck went wrong in that mid-game, but they made one small mistake.
Considers his options and actually will change and go to Malzahar. Let's think about this Malzahar. A cleanse does what it says on the tin, which is the suppression.
Yes.
But this is a level 3 bot lane gank by Nocturne.
Yep, and that is going to be the Terrify all too easy as Tarzan flashes out of the way. Songyun wants to try and get esports. There's the lantern. It's going to be taken as Key flashes forward, lands the hook. Gravity field's there, and that is a dead Fiddlesticks. But Bono may take one back, down to about 100 health as a teleport. Going to come in maybe a little bit late, but it is going to get cancelled. Flash to get out the other side, as we saw.
Very possible. This is another invade onto Tarzan.
Yeah, Tarzan actually in a whole host of trouble. Paranoia not going to be utilized as Bono just Halo Blades him to death. Chovy diving forward as Key, able to limp his way out. The flash through as Chovy picks up that kill, but the fight continues. Lava gets himself the ultimate, Nethergrasp to death as Sword turns into zombie form. They're looking for Tal, they pick it up as Sword in the zombie takes down the Urgot and his opposite half.
He's in a small CS lead over Victor.
Well, Key in a lot of trouble here. The hook goes completely wide, and Tarzan easily just gets rid of him.
Only had ult range at the start onto Chovy. He rushed QSS, no way to kill him. On the top side, Tarzan's here, so is Bono, and they're turning onto Bono.
Yeah, it's not even a counter gank anymore, as he does get healed up just a bit, but Bono's just dead. You don't go out very well. As in the mid lane, you got a Crow Storm as Lava gets ulted by Chovy, but
Tarzan contesting this ward. Key's still here.
Yeah, hook is going to land. The box is down. Nice double flay, actually, as Chovy now uses the Shroud. Has the ultimate available as Tarzan just uses the ult to get himself out. And look at that burst! The double stopwatches immediately, but they are not going to save you now. Lava in trouble. Ardently blazed to death on the back end. And
Victor on the way out. It resets the positioning, and then the Free Found Illusion can turn almost one combo the front three. Goodbye to the Drake, goodbye to the health bars, and how about a mid lane outer turret to open up a big gold lead for Griffin?
Yeah, this is a Lucian with one item. Imagine what's going to happen when he picks up a second. This is real scary. And
close Atlas, and yet in the final, they just weren't able to do it. They've been so good on so many different. Malzahar's ulting Sion, something else has gone wrong. So
yes, exactly.
Malzahar Victor feels pretty too.
However, we said similar things about what Griffin was faced with.
Control wards go down as Shelly has to be responded to.
Comes in and Bono feared back into the team. Viper easily culls him down as now Chovy with the ultimate is in there. Does have the other charge as he dives forward. Paranoia gets rid of Songyun on the back end. And now Lava, everybody else in the death chamber, Sword running at him. There's not going to be too many options as he just cants to him. But it's not quite going to help as, like you say, level 1, not going to give you a whole bunch of health back, but that's going to be that. Chovy able to tank that one up. He's got a lot of ability to regen, and Viper has a lot of damage with the Blade of the Ruined King, and at 23 minutes on the dot.
Can happen now from Griffin. Sion, unkillable. Akali, very good at killing.
Yep.
And they push through as a 3-man call with Nocturne to back.
After it's only been active for a minute. Bono looking aggressive, but that's not exactly what you want, as the ultimate is down to avoid the damage of the culling, and Lehans has the Crow Storm in there already. Paranoia has been popped as welcome to the party, Mr. Nocturne. He's got the Guardian Angel, so he ain't going to die anytime soon, and neither is Sword, man. Look at him tanking up all of this damage, but does have to flash his way out, and they will grab that kill as Tal diving on forward. The zombie Sion trying to get work done, and Hanwha Life Esports aren't going to lose anyone and defend their inner turret.
It's a true 4v5, and they continue to re-engage to Griffins. They give back a kill. Unnecessary there, but does allow the pushing to continue on the side of Griffin. They will not lose any objectives by being a bit too emblazoned under the turret.
Yeah, they managed to get this inhibitor turret most likely as well, as this siege minion is going to be down. Chovy has a lot of sneakiness, diving on forward, and Bono didn't last a couple of seconds. He's going 1v4. Lava's going to be the first one to go down. Flashes out the way. Is going to be tagged up, but no more of attrition. Looking so difficult for Hanwha Life Esports.
Yeah, well, look at us zoom out just to understand that war of attrition. We're on Tal.
Yep, Viper now has the culling popped. Wants to utilize that Essence Reaver if he can as the train flies forward. Chovy slowed down, does have himself the Shroud there, but who cares? There's so much damage in for Griffin. A couple of kills coming through on the back end, but the damage is still alive, and it's a triple kill. It's a full house. It's going to be Vipers full of Chovies, and they will take down this inhibitor and most likely win the game.
And the damage was done earlier in the game, Atlas. They broke the sails of Hanwha Life. Valiant performance, but the end score is still a 0-2. They deserved better, but they got nothing.
They didn't. But we were watching. We know that Hanwha had a great game one. They fell over, but not quite as badly as you could expect after that performance. And Griffin, it's the 2-0, but you have to have watched the series to understand what this 2-0 actually means.
Somehow, even though Griffin made some pretty significant mistakes in game number one, early game, you still somehow come away more afraid of Griffin.
Yeah.
Because they were made to fight for it. Previously, it was Jin Air rolled over, and yes, they were able to win on the first day. But what we saw in this match from Griffin when they needed to, when they were actually forced to, was another level. We've been calling how Griffin is on another level, and then it's just another thing to see it. One thing to say it, another thing to see that when they have to reach for a further level, there seems to be an 11 out of 10. Is there further? Is there a 12, 13, 14 out of 10? Maybe on another day, maybe on the 31st of January against SK Telkom T1, we will see that. They did what was needed, and once again, they only received the minimum. The minimum for Griffin is a 2-0.
Yeah, feels like this team, even when they look borderline beaten, they're unbeatable. CV Max, his grin from the booth when we watch that outplay symbolizes exactly what this team is. They're just out of control, and it's hard to define exactly how good they are. Saw them fail to make Worlds in their debut season, but now 2019 really does feel like year of the Griffin.
But yet, tell that to someone that watched 30 minutes of game one and then real life took over and they had to leave.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the amazing thing about Griffin is both for that person and just as a water cooler team, how can you